Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. Man, I was having a difficult time adjusting the little seat over here, little stand. Welcome. Good to see you guys. If you're joining me live, let me know you are here. PK, welcome. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, and I welcome you to this live. I got a good one for you today. Hello, hi, everybody. So, I'm gonna be truthful with you, a little bit transparent. I kind of did not want to go live today. It was one of those days that I kind of wanted to have to myself, but as I have made a commitment a while back, I am here live. And actually, the topic kind of connects with maybe my own day in a way. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, so you can hear me. So I am, I'm going to be talking about limiting beliefs. Jenny, how are you? Welcome. Jerry, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you guys. So limiting beliefs. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Great. When it comes to LBs, limiting beliefs, if you would, you've always been told that it's the ones that you put on yourself, right? I mean, you put on, you set those up yourself, right? Well, in a way that is true, and I can see that, right? I mean, I do that all the time. I am starting to pay more attention to it and catch myself more often than before, if you would. But we put a lot of restrictions on ourselves, right? Well, I truly believe that there are two types of LBs, limiting beliefs, if you would. But before I give you a second one, let me give you a little study that it was done a while back. Some of you may know of this study, and the study is of fleas. They take a bunch of fleas and they put them in a jar. Maybe you think this is a jar. They put a bunch of fleas in a jar and they close the lid shut, right? And they leave the fleas in the jar. Oh, you know what? They leave the fleas in the jar for what? 3 days. 3 days after, they come and open the jar, and what they notice is that all the fleas, they start, all throughout the 3 days, they would jump, and when they remove the lid, they still jump. However, this time they don't jump outside the jar. Within these 3 days, they were jumping and hitting the lid of the jar, and when they removed it, they already thought that the lid is there, and they would just jump enough right below the lid, even though the lid wasn't there. They were conditioned to jump just as high, and they were never able to jump outside the jar and therefore free themselves. That's pretty cool, huh? But the story gets even better. This is a part maybe you didn't know. What happens next is pretty crazy. These fleas, when they have their kids in the jar with the lid off, the offspring of these fleas, when they're born, they only jump as high as the jar itself, and they never jump out and they never experience freedom, even though there is no lid. It's funny talk. Even though there's no lid, they have not ever seen the lid, they have not ever felt the lid, but yet they have been conditioned to never jump outside the jar. Crazy, right? Now, if I take that and humanize it, bring it to ourselves, the limiting beliefs, then we can break it down in two. The first one is the ones that we put on ourselves, right? And the second one, although I would like to switch positions and say the first one is really the limiting beliefs that everybody else, the society, the upbringing, the environment, the people who were responsible for bringing you into this world and bringing you up, all this stuff becomes that jar, and it gives you that sense of limiting belief, if you would. So everything around you, the society, everything, all this stuff will contribute to that. And then when you're out here, right, because sometimes you don't know any better than what you see, some of your parents, right? Because you're seeing your parents just jump as high and not outside the jar. So you think what? Well, that's as good as it's gonna get. There is no outside the jar. That's how you think. Those are the limiting beliefs that you kind of start to develop for yourself. Well, kind of sucks, right? Kind of sucks. But the good news is this. The good news is you and I have the ability to change that. Just because we're in a jar that everybody else is jumping yay high, it doesn't mean we gotta stick around in that jar. Jenny, thank you for the stars. Thank you, right? So it doesn't mean we have to stick around. Even if the society, the parents, the grandparents, everybody in the whole planet Earth contributed to putting us in this little jar and, keeping us down. The good news is, at one point, you have the ability to jump out of the jar because there is no lid. At one point in your life, you can decide to say, you know what, I'm gonna jump higher than everybody else around me, just to see what it's like. Right? You can't put a blame on everything around you that's put a limiting belief on you. I don't think you can blame that. Like, it is what it is, right? Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. It is what it is, right? I mean, you can't. It is what it is, right? But then, if you don't jump higher than everybody else, then you really can't blame that on everybody else, because that's just everybody else. But if you don't go that extra, if I don't go that extra, right? I got to preach to myself as well. If I don't go that extra, then I can't blame everybody else. That's what everybody else is doing. Why would I blame them? Right? Why would I blame the other fleas? That's all they know. So yeah, the society, everybody else, everything else has put a limiting belief on us. But then it's kind of up to us to kind of just, at one point, you're gonna be independent. At one point, you're not gonna be, that umbilical cord is gonna be off, right? At one point, you're on your own. You're gonna be independent, and at that point, You can ultimately be the driver of your own life and decide, I'm just gonna take a chance and jump a little higher than these guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's out there. Like, you know, just saying. So if you feel like you're around your surroundings, everybody is kind of where you are, then maybe it's time for you to take a look and be brave and decide to kind of push and jump a little higher, and a little bit more, and see what's out there. Check out the view above everybody else. That's kind of what I am looking forward to. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. And if you feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do. Spread the love, tag a couple people, share it on your wall. And yeah, I'm working on a couple of skits, so give me a couple, just give me a few, I'll post them, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So yeah, and I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.